it's Easter, and I'm a Christian mom, and I'm not exhausted, not dressed up, not wearing makeup. I spent a lot of years in America being exhausted on holidays, just completely exhausted. Getting nice clothes for Easter and shoes, and they all fit. Then I need nice clothes, all of the food prep, Easter baskets and presents, wrangle our family of 7, put on our nice smiles, pack into the car, all 7 of us, and that was like a sensory nightmare. I am newly figured out in the last year ADHD, and so like noise in the car is really rough. Then drop everybody, have all this social interaction, not lose any children. It's really a lot. And I was always exhausted on holidays, and the mental load did always fall on me. I was actually having this chat with my husband right now because he said to me, I was thinking yesterday when you asked about getting candy for the kids for Easter, how I wanted to help so that you weren't doing everything for Easter all by yourself. And that's a huge change from early in our marriage, just for him to be thinking about my mental load, because when it's a holiday, there's so much to do and something's got to give. And usually what gives is the mom's rest, you know? And one of the biggest things that's changed for us as a couple since we have left America is we've taken turns more with things. So this Easter dinner, my husband cooked like 3/4 of the stuff, and I cooked 1/4 of the stuff. He texted me yesterday like, hey, do you want to meet at Aldi to go shopping, when I was getting off the bus from dropping off our rental car. And just to have somebody actually sharing the mental load with me has been really wonderful. And I don't actually like cooking. So it's really nice to have a husband who does like cooking and who's actually not exhausted himself from being gone from the house for 10 hours a day, 2 hours commuting, super stressful corporate job. So he still has a corporate job, but he works from home here in Portugal where we live. And he has margin now to be present in a way that he wasn't present before, just because he was like literally gone from home for 10 hours a day, needing to work in the office before we left America in 2019. So I don't know, it's just a really interesting thing to adjust. My faith is still important to me, but I've realized how much of it was contextual, like the things that were expected of me, and also just how positively exhausting it was for me as a person with ADHD to do both the logistics, like the executive functioning logistics of a holiday and all the pieces that go with that, especially if you have 5 kids like I do, but then also to go and then like try and keep everybody happy and then show up at a church service. My bullshitometer is really sensitive. And so like when I'm not feeling joyful, it's really like, I don't like to fake feeling joyful. And so then like showing up at church and feeling like you have to do that. I didn't grow up with this, but the like, he is risen. He is risen indeed. Or like, I don't know, I never quite got it at one of my churches because I grew up Presbyterian and they call us the frozen chosen. So we're not like reciting things back and forth to each other. Anyway, but yeah, like at that church, there were these things like these, like, it was like a secret language, which, I talk a lot about high control red flags. One of them is like the in-group language. Sorry, something is bugging my nose. Yeah, so like having this like weird thing that I had to say and like not lose my children, and then of course on Easter they all have to look so cute. So cute that we can take a photo. You have to remember to take the photo before they like spill stuff all over their clothes. I don't know if any of you relate to just how positively exhausting holidays are, and just the load as a mom for holidays, and then extra load for Christian moms. Because for Christian moms, at least in a lot of the contexts that I was in, everything is like your domain, or it's supposed to fall on your shoulders. And I think my favorite thing in our marriage has been realizing that if we have some more capacity, both of us, we get to spend time together, like doing this life here in Portugal. You can see my beautiful, beautiful town that I live in. It's brought our stress levels down living here. It's brought my stress level down as a neurodivergent mom. And it actually, working remotely, both of us, it's given us a lot more equality in our marriage and much more balance. The kids know my husband more, you know, because if somebody's gone 10 hours a day and I'm the primary parent, because of that, like they don't know their dad very well in that type of situation. And then he would come home and he'd be exhausted. So since we left in 2019, there was a time where like I was the main person working, and he was doing homemaking stuff, and he was making sure we had food, and he was grocery shopping, and he was like the go-to to help the kids with their online school. And so we have just taken turns with a lot of the big responsibilities of parenthood since we left America, because we're like both at home together. And that's been extraordinary for our marriage. It's been so eye-opening, I think, for both of us, because he realizes how much work and how much like invisible labor I was doing. And I realized just the weight of financially what he was doing, just carrying the weight for the whole family, because at certain times since we've left, I was the only one working. Yeah, we've just taken turns a lot more, and that's been so refreshing for me as a mom. So this isn't necessarily, I guess, about me as a Christian, except that I feel like the weight for Christian women, especially in America, especially for Christian women who are in contexts where they have been really pressured to stay home with the kids and to embrace like homemaking and parenting as their main calling, rather than being able to be all versions of ourselves. I don't know. This life suits me much better. My husband likes it a lot better too, because he's not in a high stress work environment all the time. He's able to still work in a corporate setting, but he's not like in the corporate setting, you know? And so it helps him keep it at an arm's length. So I don't know. I just wanted to share with you what this holiday was for us, what it was like, and how that's different than what it was like for us when we were in America. And a lot of that just has to do with the many, many ways we have changed, and the many ways that our marriage has changed since living abroad and since working remotely together, and just really actually co-parenting this brood of children that we have. So today I am not exhausted. And that is a wonderful thing. And it's one of the ways that living abroad has been healing to me, especially as a neurodivergent mom, as a Christian mom, as a mom who used to have much more of the mental load and caretaking fall on me instead of sharing it. Anyway, I hope that gives you today, especially if you had a really exhausting, busy day, how it could be different for you. And if you're wanting to leave in the next year, that's the people that I help. I help get you the information that you need, but also the motivation and the focus that you need to be able to make it out the door if you are like, get me out of here about America. So that's my work. That's what I do. And you can find options for how to work with me in the description. This series is called 44 Days and 44 Ways That I Built a Life That Doesn't Break Me. And today is just a really practical example of how that is true in my life on a holiday.